what are the consequences of all these young NEETS in Europe?
Well, spending time outside the labor market and education, especially spending a long period of time outside labor market and education, creating people disaffection, isolation, a likelihood of entering in pursuing different dangerous lifestyles. So this creates problems for the individual, but also for the society, because if the disengagement fill in the young people, the democratic and the social basis of our democracies can be undermined, because there is a more risk that this young person will join an extremist political movement, or it will be just feel passive towards the democratic engagement, so do not participate in democratic society, and this will endanger the democratic basis of our societies.
Mm. What happens if you lose trust in life and society?
Well, the effect can be quite dramatic, because trust is the glue of our societies, is the glue of our democracies, is the glue of our systems that make our societies sustainable in some sense. If you lose the trust, you start to wonder that maybe democracy is not the best systems, that can be something else, something that some European countries already experienced 60 years ago, and but was an answer of a lack of trust.
What are your fears will happen in Spain and the other countries where unemployment is so big? What's the worst that might happen?
Well, some alarms already rang with the recent demonstration that happened in Spain, in Greece, in Italy as well, actually. We should work to prevent the disengagement fill in. We should work in order to avoid that the trust of people is completely destroyed, because the consequences can be very scaring, actually, because Eurosceptic movements are increasing also in countries as Italy or Spain that were actually Europhile. There were no Euroscepticism in these countries. We should not just think, especially at the European level, to the debts, to the austerity, but also the social tissue, because if we wanted to build a common European house, the basis of the common European house should be also a social basis where people recognize themselves and is not scared about each others.
If people are very unemployed, do you think then they'll become more nationalistic, or will they like Europe more, do you think?
People will try to find an answer why they are living that frustration. Who is the cause of this frustration? You know that in the media appears that austerity is something that is asked by Europe. So Euroscepticism can born also from this, to linking Europe to their condition of unemployment. We should actually really prevent that due to the crisis we lose all these 60 years of a common walk towards a European Union.
Who can change these life circumstances for young people, because we can't control the markets? So who will be able to do some action?
Well, this is a good question, actually. Of course, family play a role. Family always play a role, but not only family. For example, institution, the Center for Employment, the public employment services, they can start to tailor services, especially for young people, because young people is a different population compared to adults, for example. They have their own needs, and so the public employment services should provide services tailored for young people. And then, if there are no jobs around, because in some countries there are no jobs around, policymakers should intervene in order to involve young people in the civil society through volunteering, through social innovation initiatives, for example, that permit young people to feel themselves involved in the society, integrated in the society. And this will prevent the disengagement to fill in. That will help also training will be fundamental in order to create the new skills that probably young people need in order to be employed in the new economies that is coming out from the recession.
In 5 years, what's the worst case scenario and the best thing that might be happened in 5 years? For the young people.
Well, for the young people, well, the crisis cannot last forever. So, of course, will be at the end, the recovery will arrive. The recovery already arrived in some countries, such as Germany and Austria, for example. In Germany and Austria, the youth unemployment is lower now than it was before the crisis. So in 5 years, I expect that new job will arrive and young people will start to re-enter. In 5 years, they already started to enter again.
Do you think there's hope for all the young people in all the European countries, or are you more skeptic about some of them?
In 5 years, if young people is not re-engaging into labor market, in 5 year times, the consequences will be dramatic. So I am sure and I really hope that in 5 years young people will be in the labor market again.